Alright, so we've talked about electron configurations. Hopefully you've gotten some practice and you've gotten pretty good at that. Now I want to show you kind of a little trick, a little shortcut for finding the electron configuration, or rather finding the end of the electron configuration. So if I go back to the example of bromine I did previously, all this is great and all this I need, but we typically only care about the last electrons, okay? Because the last electrons are the ones on the outer energy levels of the atom. So they're the ones furthest out. And the ones furthest out are the ones that react, okay? So this bottom part is similar to everything else. So we're most concerned with the end piece. So I'm going to show you a little shortcut on the periodic table to find just the end piece of an electron configuration, okay? So when you have to write the full configuration, this might be a little shortcut to go back and kind of check your work, okay? So first, we're going to divide the periodic table up into 4 blocks, okay? So the first block I'll have is the S block. The second block that I have is the P block. This block is the D block, and down here this little piece at the end is called the F block. So I have S, P, D, and F. So as you might could have guessed, everything in the S block has an electron configuration that ends in something S. Okay, it could be 1s, 2s, 3s, whatever it might be. Everything in the P block ends in a P sublevel. So let's see what I mean by that. So bromine ended in a P sublevel. It's in the P block, okay? So D and F would be the same thing here. So now I'm going to show you exactly what it ends in. So let's label the rows on the periodic table. They're called periods. So a row is a period. So period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4, period 5, period 6, period 7, okay? So lithium, for example, would end in a 2s sublevel. Cesium would end in a 6s sublevel. Calcium would end in a 4s sublevel. Okay? Bromine would end in a, so let's go back, bromine go across a 4p sublevel. So this side too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So iodine would end in a 5p sublevel. Okay? We'll save D and F in a minute. They're a little bit different. Let's look at these first. So now to figure out exactly what they're going to end in as far as their electron configuration, we look at the columns. So this column ends in S1. Okay? So all this column, the first family or first group, ends with an incomplete S sublevel. Okay? Let me plug my computer in. I'm sorry, it's about to die. It's flashing. Okay? So this second column ends with an S2. Okay? A full S sublevel. Same thing with P here. I can do P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6. So let's check out bromine. So bromine should end in 4P5. Let's go back and check it. Did it end in 4P5? Yeah, so it looks like we're in pretty good shape, you know. Things lined up here. So now, if we just want to know the last piece of a configuration, we should be able to look at a periodic table and tell me what that is. So on your table for now, you can label these, but we won't need these forever. You need to know this is the S block, this is the P block. This P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, and be able to label it. So arsenic, for example, ends in 1, 2, 3, 4. P is in the P block. P1, P2, P3. Arsenic ends in 4P3. Okay? Strontium, for example, ends in 5s2. So that's a nice little shortcut to help you find the last piece of an electron configuration for an atom. The D block I skipped because you read D back one level. So what that means is this row right here is the 3D sublevel. This right here is the 4D. This is the 5D. This is the 6D. Okay, so you go back one level. And F, you read back 2 levels. Okay, so we'll skip the F block for now. We won't write configurations for those. So if I wanted to look at iron, and I could label it just as well, D1, D2, D3, and so on. So iron is really on the 4th period, but we go back 1 for the D block. So iron is on 3, okay? So iron, let's just say Fe, we'll say it ends in something, 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 3. It's in the D block, okay? And then it's D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6. So it ends in 3D6. Ruthenium, Ru, is on the 5th row, but we read back 1 for the D block. So it's on 4, it's in the D block. I go D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, okay? It's in the 6th column of the D block, okay? So that's just a nice little trick to help you out. If you don't want to write out the whole configuration when you're only asked for the last piece, it's a nice little trick to make your life easier. So now, well, I'll wait for the next video and I'll show you another little shortcut to help us write electron configurations.